Save the Day Scotty here with my ARXB turntable, mid 70s to late 70s turntable. So this one has kind of an interesting story. I went to a yard sale. Guy had some stereo equipment for sale, receiver and other turntables. I think some speakers as well. Again, 6 or 7 years ago, and I I bought the stuff for $30, and he said, "There, this will go with it." So this turntable, I brought it home and I kind of didn't know what it was. I mean, so when I looked at it, I'm like, the tone arm pivot looks, cobbled, machine, homemade, whatever. I just didn't understand what this thing was. And then so I put it in my closet. Came with the cover, believe it or not, the original cover. And I put it in my closet, and probably a year or so went by, and I got into a forum on Facebook. They were talking about these, and I saw the picture. I went, wait a minute, I think I have that. So I went upstairs and took it down, and sure enough, this thing is all original. This plastic-looking square, weird head shell, and the tone arm pivot. All that is all original to this thing, and it turns out this thing is in extremely nice shape. The cover is got a couple of little scuffs on it, but for the age of this thing, it's in extremely nice shape. The cover is not hinged, so when you play this, you take the cover off, set it aside, which is kind of weird. But so every once in a while, I like to take this thing down, dust it off, get it warmed up. And so here's the other weird quirk about these turntables is the belt. You have to talcum powder the belt. So you have to take the belt, put it in a bag with pure talcum powder, and shake, 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 get the belt all covered in the talcum powder, pull the belt out, flick it off, get the excess powder off, and then mount the belt to the inner platter and spindle pulley or motor pulley. And the reason for that, I had this thing running before when I pulled it down, and it just wasn't running right. It would make a weird noise, and it would, when I get up to speed, it would jiggle. This is a suspension turntable, so there's springs underneath the platter here, and so it would jiggle all weird, and it wouldn't play at the right speed, and I wasn't sure what was wrong with it. But then I read in the forums that you have to powder the belt. Once I powdered the belt, I got some pure talc powder. I bought special, I think, for belts. And once I got the belt mounted back on there and turned it on, this thing lit right up and it works perfectly. It's kind of weird with the belt, but it's supposedly the powder on the belt allows a little bit of slippage during the startup, during the spin up cycle, and allows for more stable motor operation in spinning the platter. So, but yeah, once I powdered the belt, this thing lit right up, and it's been awesome ever since. So let's take this thing for a little bit of a test drive here. Turn it on. I'm doing this on camera, but I still have to aim. Okay. Not going to go too long with the music so I don't get copyright. Alright, that's all I'm going to do for the music, but this right now has an Audio Technica. I think this is an AT1 cartridge. Kind of a quirky old table, but man, this thing plays nice. And the other amazing thing about these turntables is there are no electronics inside of this thing. There's no circuit board. I mean, it's literally just a bunch of wires with a couple of capacitors that are zip tied to the back of the plinth. And the first time I flipped this over and took the cover off, I kind of went, how does this thing even work? There's nothing in here. And I mean, there's no preamp. The newer ones have preamps and USB, whatever, Bluetooth, whatever crap. built into them. And this thing is just plain, simple, accurate turntable. No extra electronics needed. There's no automatic. This is a fully manual turntable, so you have to set the needle down, and then you have to pull the needle off when it's done playing the record. It did have the Q lever, which is weird in of itself. There's a cable that goes from there to the center of the tone arm pivot. There's a spring in there and a plunger that it's got to have some special grease, damping grease in there, which I found that Remote Control Hobby has an axle grease that they use that's exactly the right consistency for these type of turntables. So I pulled that all apart. When I discovered that, you know, this was actually worth something, I did service it. I went through and oiled everything, cleaned up the spindle of the center platter where it goes in the hole. There's no bearing, okay? It's just suspended in oil down there. So this thing was completely serviced by me. There's also an adjustment cap here for the amount of tension that it has and the speed of the lifting and dropping of the tone arm. So that was all, you know, serviced as well. But yeah, this thing every once in a while I like to take it up, warm it up, put it through its paces, and keep it alive, you know, because not every day you run into one of these. This is probably a $400 or $500 turntable on the market, especially with the cover in good shape. So, you know, you run into something like this, I'm going to basically say I got it for free. I'm going to take extremely good care of this, and this is not going anywhere. I mean, this thing will come to the grave with me, and you know, I really like it for how simple it is. It is not, as far as playing, it's not as good as the Denon, the DP45F, but man, this thing sounds amazing. And of course, it depends on what cartridge you have in there. This thing sounds amazing. Just how simple it is and how good it really sounds is pretty amazing to me. All right, guys. So a little quick video on the AR XP turntable. And please watch the rest of my videos. Please like, subscribe. You guys know what to do. And until I see you again, life is good.